Hello there. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, finally. Um if you are just finding us, I'm Kit Kat. And I have been taking a little bit of a break, but now we're probably back, possibly updating slightly less often than before. But today's build is a craftsman style family home. So it took me a while to settle on this particular floor plan. At first, when I was trying to build a craftsman home, I just didn't really know like what the layout should be. So when in doubt, look for a floor plan online, which is what I did. So basically, I found one online and flipped it just because this lot in San Sequoia, I almost said San Myshuno, that's wrong. This lot does have, if you look right there at the crosswalk, which I guess it's a crosswalk, not a driveway, I'm just realizing this now. But I put in a garage because I literally I thought that was a driveway, but no, it's a crosswalk. You know what? Sometimes you gotta get out of your house, and every once in a while you do have to drive in the crosswalk. So, wow. But anyway, I basically flipped the orientation of the garage because in the floor plan that I found online, it had it on the other side. So, in this one, it's where that gravel driveway is to the crosswalk. Honestly, I think that's hilarious. And I did also, initially I was looking at more American craftsman style floor plans. So really what I was looking for was something a little bit different because it was just looking really boring to me. And so I typed in Australian like home floor plans, and it sort of looked like a craftsman home. So I just like went with it with the one that I ended up using. And then back here I'm doing the little porch. It took me a really long time to figure out the roof, so I did cut some of that out. Just because, yeah, it took too much time. For some reason it wouldn't let me raise the lot. And then I also cut out me changing that like back area into what was that, like a trellis? I cut that out as well because it took a lot of time. So now we're settling on the actual roof line of the house. Trying to figure out where the porch is, the front door, things like that. I put in a garage door, essentially. I use air quotes around garage door. So it's the door from Snowy Escape. And I just made it white because I thought it looked nice. It matches with the roof. Thought it was cute. Yeah, back here we have like a little open porch. And this lot is sort of in a commercial area, so I don't know if it fits entirely, but I think it matches the style of the world at least. Like, it's not too out of place. It is just a bit odd to have a commercial area in house, although it sometimes happens. So for the most part, the Eco Lifestyle windows match really well with the windows from the Growing Together pack. For the most part, I say. Some of the Eco Lifestyle windows they have a weird brown on the white swatch. It's particularly this window that I'm trying to place where I would have the kitchen. I think I end up using it, but it didn't feel right, so I did get rid of it. I think I used them at some point though. But yeah, just putting some windows in the bathroom. I do change the inside a little bit and kind of adjust the wall space in there just because there wasn't really I just shift this over. So I wanted the main bedroom, so the parents' room, to have a bathroom attached to it, and it has a bathroom, that was fine, but it was just like the same size as the front room. And I wanted it to be bigger because it is the primary suite, so it makes more sense that there's more room. And then that front room there is like a guest room, or you could essentially, you know, if you have grandparents living with your family, they could live in that room. And that first room does look a little bit older style when I finally settle on it. And then this house also has laundry in that room that is behind the garage there. That ends up being a laundry room. Also, I sized these cars up, but I don't think I sized them up big enough, because when I went in to take screenshots, you know, for the video at the end, they look really small. I left them, but, you know, please just forgive me for that, because they look really tiny. So I put these like wardrobes, closets there. Forgot the word for those things. Have those built in, and then just sort of lighting the place up so that we can, you know, figure out the layout. So I do place like a diagonal wall there. There are a few, you know, kind of strange angles in this house, but I do think it ends up looking fairly good. I quite like it. I'm always using those Dream Home Decorator counters. I think it's a real problem that a lot of us have. I thought about doing like a little peninsula here, but instead I just settle for like a little island in the middle with seating. It takes me a bit to figure it out. Also, I use the other ones from Dream Home Decorator because those particular counters, they have that lip on the back, and I didn't like it. So we do get rid of it and use the other counters. Just because I don't like, why does it have to look like that? Then we just have like a little square island in there. Also, I don't understand why those counters don't match up. Just a lot of questions that I have for the Sims team. And sometimes I try to alt place it, but it made more sense for it to be smaller in the end. Just trying to figure out what fridge to use is apparently an absolute struggle for me. But I hope you have been having a good April so far, if you're watching this when it comes out. I really appreciate being able to take that stream break, or not, upload break. This is YouTube, Kit Kat, please. I do appreciate being able to take that upload break, because I was just really not enjoying building too much, because I was just having to do it all the time, or what I felt like was all the time, and mixing that, you know, with my full-time job and then with streaming as well. It's not like my top priority, the YouTube videos. So I love building The Sims, but I just was stuck for inspiration. So it was good to take a break. And then last week I was having computer issues, so I spent like 2 days that I would normally have been building and, you know, doing those types of things. I spent 2 days trying to figure out what was wrong with my computer. Overall, it was that the network driver needed to update. It was really struggling and just like honestly failing during streams for the most part. So it did that. Gonna possibly do some other upgrades, but it's all fixed now for the most part. I do end up fixing that roof line, so don't fear. It took me a little bit of time to figure out where to put the living space, just because yeah, it is a bit of a weird area in the floor plan version. It doesn't quite look like that, but of course, you know, things don't look exactly the same in The Sims anyway. And I don't paint the outside walls for a while, so I know that they're bare. They will get painted, I promise. So initially I'm just laying out some furniture. I think we do keep that big eco table. I do like how it's 3 tiles long, and it takes up, a good amount of space. And it's a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, so it makes sense to have a fairly big table. I end up, again, I always use the sectional sofas from Dream Home Decorator. It's a problem in the sense that they get used a lot and others are sort of ignored. But the decor of this is not so much like Craftsman on the inside. It's much more modern and like sleek. So I do try to bring that across as well. I love this rug that I end up using. It's the floral one from High School Years. So initially what made me decide to take a break from YouTube in particular, besides the computer issues, which really just delayed last week, was I had recorded a whole different build, or I thought I'd recorded it, of a different Craftsman house that I really liked it. It wasn't like perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I really did quite like the interior and what it ended up doing. When I went to edit that video, footage was missing. I don't know what happened, if I had accidentally paused it, because I think I did pause it when I was furnishing the bathrooms, just because I was like, that takes up a lot of space, and that way I don't have to cut it out later. And it's a bathroom, not super interesting, but I don't think that was what happened. I think like it just lost footage. And so I had recorded this build that I really liked, which you can check out, on the gallery under my user ID, which is in the description below. But I had uploaded it, I had put all this work into it. I don't know how long I spent on it. It was a while. I was watching The Bachelor during it, but that could have slowed me down, honestly. But and then the footage was just like cut out. It went from like, the living room not being furnished to being fully furnished, and I was just like, this isn't happening. So I ended up just scrapping that whole video, unfortunately, because I was so frustrated and there was really nothing I could do anyway. So another reason that I took a break was to just not be so irritated by that anymore, and then just kind of go into a different mindset when I came back to this one. And again, that's why I looked for a different style. If you noticed, that wall behind the TV changed very quickly. It's because I was, as you can tell, spending a really long time trying to decide on a swatch, and so I just cut out the other instances of me looking through the catalog. Here behind the sofa, I wanted like a little console table, just because there was like an empty space there where I could put a light and some other like clutter and things. So it took me a while to settle on this one as well. It should not have. I feel like that's always the case. Whenever I'm taking forever to do something, I'm like, that should not have taken me that long. I think I did end up choosing the like console table from the Industrial Loft kit. Yeah, that one, which I never use that kit very often. Every once in a while I'll use the couch or the chair or the rug. The rug is really good. And sometimes the lights from that pack as well, depending on the style of the build. But a lot of that furniture, especially the bed in that pack, some of those swatches are just not it. So it does get left behind a little bit. But the style inside here is, like I said, modern, and then like bright neutral light colors, some pops of color, some teals and things. Overall, I think the parents' room is more like lavenders and things like that, but it's very light and airy in here. And then we have a kid's room, which will be that back room, and also an infant room. So we got to make use of the things for nursery, which was another reason I wanted to work on this build, because I wanted to be able to have a little nursery for a baby. So here I am trying to decide how to paint and I do sort of bring that out, and then we have a little bit of more dimension in the front. It really just helped it look different than the rest of the house. That way it wasn't so flat. So basically the outside ends up being that brown shingle swatch with some stone mixed in, and then white siding. And I think that the color scheme on the outside is really pretty. I add a few pillars in as well to kind of like break up the chunks where like the white siding is stopped by a certain other swatch, like the stone or the brown shingles. So here we are back inside. This is like a different day of recording, and so I start by just cluttering up this TV console area. It's not fully cluttered, but it does have, some more things in there. We've got I really liked using the yellow items. I know what colors are. I really liked using those swatches with the teal though. I thought it was really pretty. You might hear my cat soon. He just woke up. And then I slipped those board game boxes into that slot where it kind of looks like they're on two different shelves, which I thought was pretty cool. So I did leave it like that. And I did not limit myself on packs. I think I've already done that. I don't even remember, if I'm being honest. Oh no, I haven't actually done that yet. I think maybe I tried. It wasn't the build that got deleted, but I think I tried and I just wasn't having it. So sometimes you're like, oh, this is going to be a great idea, and then you just cannot do it because of creativity block, I guess. So we will furnish this front bedroom first, which is basically like a guest room. We do use a lot of things from the Growing Together pack, but I really like those shelves. I don't think I had noticed those before, which again is why this is giving me like grandma's room or something, because of all the slightly more dated things in the pack. I put a desk here in the front. I was gonna put a dresser, but it's like right next to a closet, and then I do put the little like stand-up wardrobe on the other side because it fills in the space a little bit. I really like that rug. I think it's from Get Famous, maybe? I don't think I've ever used it, but it works really well with the Get Growing Together things. Why are all the packs named such similar things, honestly? No wonder we confuse them all the time. But yeah, it matches really well with the Growing Together stuff, the blues. It's not like a perfect blue, but it does look pretty nice. And then this I think that's from the kids stuff pack, that little seat there, which also looks really cute and nice. Just sort of cluttering this up a little bit. I don't put a ton of stuff in this room, but there is a little bit of clutter. I think those are the teeth that I put on the table. So, if you're concerned about dentures, that's where they are. But I think that sort of fits the vibe of this being a grandparent's room. Sometimes you just have to alt place things, don't you? And then I put that kind of like red accent wall on the back. I think it goes with the rug there. I think it looked really, it made sense. And I tried to like put a couple of pieces of art in here, just sort of like over there above. Maybe grandma is like a fan of nature as well. Although there's not like a ton of skill building items in here. I think in the garage we have the flower arranging table and the woodworking table. I actually don't think I put an easel in this house, which is strange for me. I usually do. I started off with the bathroom here first just because, it's a bathroom, it's easy. I did not cut it out. I did end up changing the orientation and putting the door where that toilet is, just because when I looked at that hallway, there were just like a lot of doors in the hallway, which happens, but I just didn't like the way it looked, so just flipped it around a little bit. So the entry to the bathroom is actually in the living room area as opposed to in the hallway, which I guess makes sense because that's where the kids' rooms end up being on that side. But I also don't think I have a toddler potty in this house right now, but we do only have it. It's only technically for an infant, so you could always add it if you decided to play in this house. But like I said, it's not a restricted build, so there are a lot of packs in here, and for that I apologize. Here we go, flipping it around a little bit. I put some of the bathroom clutter in here, like the towels. Obviously those rugs are from the bathroom kit. I end up using the purple one with like the void critters on it, and then a couple of other things that have like the void critters, and I think it looks pretty cute. I quite like it. Yeah, I used the void critter swatch on that one. There's probably more things that I could have put in there, but I add some clutter to the sink because it's a kid's bathroom. I mean, I guess grandma would be using this one too. So it makes sense that, it was a little bit cluttery. I do put light switches in here. I don't always put light switches in my builds, but I do put a few. Although it would be a pain if you walked in the bathroom and the light switch was behind the door. I'm not gonna lie, in terms of real, like a real build, but in The Sims, they don't care. They don't need it. So in this bathroom, I just put the shower, and I do have like a little sunken shower. I always like doing that when I put one of the standing showers in there, just because that's, it would get really messy. For realism, it would get really messy if you had a shower that was just flat on the floor. And again, why I liked using that window too, because it kind of, makes it look like there's a little glass door there, even though it's a window. So just putting a couple other things in the bathroom here. I think it looks nice. It's not like crazy, but I think it does end up looking pretty nice in this bathroom. And then kind of like matching some of the fixtures in the other bathroom just to make it easier and more cohesive. It's not always the case, but it does usually make sense if it's like a new build that the fixtures are generally the same. And this was also before the newest update, which is why I'm able to alt place things on the sink counter. So recently there was an update, which I haven't really built with yet, but recently there was an update along with the greenhouse kit and the basement kit to be able to slot things onto like more slots on counters and things like that, but also on the sinks and the tub, which might not be ideal in the long run. You know, Sims love to be putting plates on the most random surfaces, so you're probably going to end up with plates in your bathroom. Just a forewarning. But this is the primary bedroom, the parents' bedroom. It does end up being a little lavendery and purpley. I don't know if it like looks young or if it, you know, if it does make sense. I like it. I was looking for like more variety, honestly, but I do end up liking it. Maybe the rest of the house, some of it doesn't really fit as well, but I do quite like it. I wish we had a purple wallpaper that was patterned without any trim. That would have been helpful to me in this endeavor. But, you know, we work with what we have. Yeah, I did try to use that Dream Home Decorator wallpaper and it did not work. I think I changed it. We'll see what happens, honestly. I did watch this all the way through, but I forget at this point. And we are about halfway through the build. I don't do a lot of like landscaping or anything outside. There is the little porch where there's like ends up being a grill and a little seating area and a like a picnic table, but there's not a ton of stuff out there. Some planter boxes because of course they are out there. Put a little bookshelf in the corner there. I do think I move it. Yeah, I move it over and use that one from Tiny Living. One of my favorite bookshelves, honestly. But it does tend to look a bit modern, so I don't always use it. And then just like a couple of things, I end up putting the little heater in here, even though I don't think that I even put a thermostat in this house. So if you have seasons, you could add that. I think I was thinking about it and then just it slipped my mind. So apologies if you have seasons, but you can add it if you have it. If you don't have it, then it's not a worry to you. I tried to put like a plant in the corner because of course I did. There was nothing else over there. End up doing that one. We have a little meditation stool there. Here I'm just looking for some bedside table clutter. I put some things on there. I'm not sure I'm completely happy with the number of items on there, but I think it's okay. I've got some added clutter on the dresser there. I kind of flip back and forth a little bit as I look for things. But yeah, we've got the glasses. I'm going to try to alt place some things so that it's not like completely all over the place. And then we have our little bags that we've hung on the wall, which end up looking pretty nice. So this hallway kind of also gave me some struggles. There's not a lot happening out there. I tried to add like a rug runner, but the way that the hallway is laid out, it's not really possible. Got like a mirror and the little, you know, console table again there. Lots of little tables around this place. And then of course the key hooks, which are realistic and tuck your mail in. We used to have that growing up, a little place to put like your mail, but I never really understood it because is it, you know, the mail that you're wanting to send? Is it mail that you just got? Are you just not going to open it? It was confusing to me. So now if I get mail that I am not going to open, it goes in the recycling bin. But here I am still trying to put a runner in. I think it would have looked slightly more complete with some kind of rug. I guess I could have done like one that didn't start at the door or something. I don't know. We end up putting a little plant in the corner naturally. And I will add a door into the garage very shortly. I had forgotten to do that. And it's not like it matters. It's not a real garage. You could also delete the fake cars that are in there and put in like some workout equipment. You know, you don't really need a car in this Sims 4. And at this point, I don't really feel like I want them, but you know, some people really want cars in Sims 4. I'm not too bothered by it, if I'm honest. So wait for the Sims 5 for your cars, or go to the Sims 3. It took me a while to figure out like what wallpaper to put in there. I probably should have just gone with something. I think I end up leaving those panels, which I do like those. I think they look pretty nice. And then I put like a couple of those little cube shelves on the wall to put some towels in, because I wanted it to look more like a linen closet. So I do tuck those there and sort of like kind of merge them with the shelf from Laundry Day, just so it looks a little bit more cohesive. It does kind of look out of place just because of the white swatches, but I think that it kind of fits, you know, it all blends together a little bit at least. Just adding some clutter in the kitchen because there really wasn't anything in here, you know, besides the appliances, which is also fine. But, you know, if you're not new here, you know I love to clutter everywhere. And it seemed a little out of place that, you know, the living room was cluttered and the bathrooms are cluttered, but the kitchen didn't have any clutter in it. I do end up adding some shelves like right below that window, where I put like the mugs and things like that on there, just to kind of fill that space in a bit more as well. And this build did end up being a little bit longer than some of my past ones. I think partly because I hadn't built in a while, and then just because it did, and because of like exploring the new pack and things like that. Like I said, I built this before the kits came out, so not that there would have really been that much in there. I might have added like a screened-in porch at the back, which would have been cute. But yeah, it wouldn't have been too much different than this if I had those kits when I was building. I ended up putting the slats there as kind of like a statement wall. I think it ends up looking kind of cute, so we go with it. We tuck that little fiddlehead fern in the other corner. So this is the nursery. It's very fun and colorful. I really quite like it. I love that rainbow rug. That new rug from the infant update, it's so good. Yeah, those swatches are so nice. I use them, I think, in both rooms, because in the other room I use the dinosaur version, and it's really good. It basically ends up being like a little dinosaur room, which is really cute. Kids' rooms are so fun to furnish. Like honestly, even though we don't have as, you know, many things overall as we do for kids, or for kids as we do for the rest, you know, just general Sims stuff, they end up being really fun, I think, because of, you know, how fun the items are. It makes me, you know, try to furnish a room the way little Kit Kat would have enjoyed, to some extent. And that little decal with the owl and the tree, it's so cute. It's so cute. I really quite like it. I do also add another like shelving unit to the left of the diaper changing table, just because there's a lot of clutter that, you know, came with the infant update that I'm like, oh, I really do want to add that. So that is what we end up doing. Got some more storage though. We've got, you know, the toys and things. It's just a very cute little room. A little rocking chair for you to rock the baby. Yeah, I I think it's a very cute room. And it's pretty close to being done. We only have the kids' room now. And like I said, we use those dinosaur swatches and they are amazing. I do also put like a little TV in this room, just because, you know, why not? It fills up the space a little bit. It's kind of unnecessary to have a TV in the room that's like right behind the television, but that is where I put it. So I thought about putting, you know, that play tent. It didn't fit, so we scrapped it. It is a bit of a smaller room. I think it's like a 4x4, I believe. Yeah, 4x4 room. Maybe it is 4x4. I can't count. Yeah, I just used the little tiny living one on the wall. I think it would make sense too to have it sort of mounted there. I quite like it. But yeah, this build is very close to being done. Just some finishing touches on this room and then the outdoors, and then that's a wrap. But thank you again. If you if you were missing builds, I'm happy that you were missing these. But thank you for being patient as I sort of like come back from taking a break. I think I will go back to posting videos every other week, just so that I don't get burnt out on uploads or building, because I don't want to do that. I don't want to overdo it. Oh, we have to furnish the garage as well. But again, thank you so much for your patience, and thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. And I will catch you in my next video. Bye.